Okay. Let's see here. What is up, my people? Yo, what's going on? This is if you're here trading with me live, then thank you very much for being here. But if not, you're watching this video after the fact. Thank you guys very much. It's your boy Nick, HOUTX Trader, coming live right now from Houston, Texas. It is 7 o'clock on May 9th. That is Central Standard Time. So we are in Houston. Okay, guys, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at US30. We're going to be looking at NASDAQ. We're going to be looking at gold. I've also marked up crypto charts, and I've posted them on the Bored Ape Solana Club's Discord. So if you guys are part of the BASC, you can go there and look at the crypto markups that I just posted and what I think is going to happen. So I'm still bullish on crypto, obviously. And it looks to me like all of the cryptos, or the ones that I track at least, are in a good buy area. So, I mean, if Bitcoin then wants to go, there's nothing to, I mean, it could very well drag the others with it, right? So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at news. We're gonna take a look at everything, right? So thank you guys very much for being here. Remember, guys, shout out to My Flash Funding as they give me free accounts to give away. So thanks to those guys for helping me build my channel and helping drive customers to them. And yeah, because at the end of the day, it's all about your name and who you are. And so therefore, I'm not selling any courses. I'm not selling any signals. I'm not selling any BS. All right. I don't need you guys' money. But if you like what I say, you like the way I chart, whatnot, just please hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and eventually I'll have enough people on YouTube that they'll pay me, right? I don't need you guys' money. So beware of the guru out there who pays his bills off of the bullshit signals that he sells, right? The real ballers in the game, the real people in the game don't need to sell. No, they don't need y'all's money. They make their own money trading, right? And I don't need y'all's money. So straight up. Yeah. So we're good. We're good there. So since we'll look at my screen. You guys can see the Bored Ape Solana Club. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's pull up the browser. And let's see if I know you can't see this right now, but I'm gonna see if I have Magic Eden on here. Magic Eden NFT Marketplace. Okay, let's bring this on here. Before we get going with the trading and whatnot, basically, I don't think there's anyone even in my live stream right now. It's just me, so you guys can go back and watch this later on. But if you go to Magic Eden, here is Magic Eden, and you type in Bored Ape, and you'll see Bored Ape Yacht Club, but we don't want that. We want Solana based. So click on the little Solana. Bored Ape Solana Club right here. It's costing 2.19 Solana to buy one of these. And that's the floor price. Okay. So then if we go back to Trading View and we see what Solana is at, it is at 140 bucks right now, right? So $286, 200, let's just call it a hair under $300. You can buy a Bored Ape. Okay. Now it starts at that price. Again, it goes from there. And these are all the Bored Apes that are up for sale. So the idea is you buy a Bored Ape. Okay. When you buy a Bored Ape, then you now have access to this Discord. And if you are a trader like me, now you have access to all of my markups. Okay. So for 300 bucks, you can get everything that I post every single day. All right. I'm not saying they're signals. I'm just saying you have what I'm thinking every day. Okay. You also have Chart Atom US. You have what these guys are posting. Okay. You have solar trades. You got what this guy's posting and the way he does his charts. You have this TTI Academy. It stands for like Trade, Travel, Invest. That's what it is. Trade, Travel, Invest. You have all of this guy's stuff. Plus, if you're a Bored Ape, you're going to have your own special chats, right? Holders vote, holders thing. You have white papers, the raffling off. You have collab sales right here. Again, there's all different kinds of stuff. They have, if you're into NFTs, man, or you want to get into NFTs, come here and look at all this stuff because it's just, you could be inundated with the amount of information. So for 300 bucks, man, you can't beat this. And here's the deal. As the Bored Apes get more valuable, you could sell it and make money. And out of as Solana gets more valuable, you could sell it and make more money. So not only are you making money off as Solana goes up, but you're also making money as the Bored Ape goes up. So you're basically double dipping. Okay. So that's that. Okay. I should probably put a link. I should probably copy this link and then go to my dot card, right? And go edit profile. Let me just do this right now. Add content. Here we go. I didn't even think about this until just now. Add link, Control V, add title. Okay. Let me just move this because, okay. Now add, bingo. Okay, there we go. So now you have a link. So let's go back to content. So now if you come here to Magic Eden, we can put that right here next to the Discord link, right? So there you go. Bingo. Check that out. I need to come in here and dial up my dot card a little bit better. But thank you for the one person that's here. Give me a chat and let me know who is in here with me. But there's the Bored Apes, okay, guys? And that's how you buy one. You can also filter these out by their, like, if you want one that has like a helmet or a knife in the mouth or whatever, you can sort those out. Also, too, real quick on the Bored Apes, obviously a big shout out to my boy Dak Days, aka Austin Collins. Actually, flip that. Austin Collins, aka Dak Days, and they do have like these raffles and giveaways and shit. So, like, if you have one that has a pizza, you can have on Wednesdays they raffle off a free pizza, or you could enter to win and you get a free pizza. On Thursdays they give away a free sushi dinner. On Fridays, I'm not even sure what the fuck frothy Fridays is, to be honest with you, but steak Saturdays, pasta Sundays, taco Tuesdays. You get the idea. They raffle stuff off, so they give back to their community. All right. So let's just minimize this. So that is the Bored Apes, guys. Now let's look before we start diving into the charts. It is 7:10. Hey, bro, need guidance on the best way to set up. Let's give me 1 second here. Again, we got 20 minutes for the market open, so we're not going to go too crazy on the charts right now. We're going to save those bullets. I'm just going to, kind of get ready. I thought this fool. Oh, he's texting me here. Okay, I'll have to hit him up. Okay. So that's that, guys. That's the Bored Ape. Now, before we get into this, like I said before, let's look real quick at news. So I like to use Disclosed TV because they have all sorts of shit. So if I look at here, I see the BS with the Gaza and the students. Okay, AstraZeneca is pulling the vaccine. We have the Boeing stuff, right? So Boeing is basically a huge stock in the United States. So as Boeing falters, you can see some of that in the market. You have MTG messing around with the speaker, right? So there's some news out there about, it's not really good news. Of course, these websites don't peddle good news. So it is what it is. We go to Bloomberg and I look at this. We're out the top. Stocks, bonds slip as trade seeks fresh. Okay. So stocks and bonds are slipping, right? I was looking at this earlier and what was I seeing? Okay. The FTSE outperforms. Okay. Well, maybe that's good. 3 trillion. I was seeing some adverse news in here. Maybe they changed this. Okay. Hedge funds pile options bets. Country goods. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is if you come on this Bloomberg, I saw this right off the top, okay, and you go to NASDAQ, and I read the news in here, and so basically what I'm trying to say is go to these news sources before the market opens, especially before. Oh my God, what is this on Lucid? Okay, cool, because I own Lucid stocks, guys. I own Lucid stocks because I've actually been to the Lucid factory where they build the cars. I was there before the first car ever rolled off the assembly line. So I like Lucid, and I've seen it firsthand. And of course, if you see something firsthand, what better way to have faith in the company and buy the stock? So let's get into the charts, basically, which everyone else is here for. We'll save the crypto stuff for a little bit. Let's go to my blue. Let's go to dirtiest of 30. So, okay, guys, I'm in dirty 30 already. Okay. But this is what I'm looking at. So if we come to, like, let's say the 4 hour, let's refresh. I'm not a trend line trader, but I did post this trend line up there for the people in Andy Peters Pip Connect, because they are. And so if you see, we do have the trend line. Now, I've always been the person that says you need to draw it to the bottom wick, right? And that's where the trend line really is. Okay. But if you're a more aggressive trader, and I know that Andy teaches his Pip Connect people to do these trend lines on a 30-minute, you wouldn't be terribly wrong to put it right there. Okay. Because look at, you get 1, 2, 3 wicks. You have the wick below, close above. Let me do this. Okay. And actually, let me do this so you can see better. Let's do yellow. You have the 1 wick below, close above, 2, 3, and then you have this structure here, and now it's breaking. Now I'm sure if I put an EMA in there, and I don't even know which EMAs I have. There's the 20, I think, and then the big boy there, the 200, right? So this EMA is getting closer to here. So we could see a break. Now I'm a trend line, excuse me, I'm a Fibonacci trader. So for me, my sell zone where I'm looking to get into trades is right here. We match this trend line breakup with my fib zone, which is right here. Sell zone, excuse me, yeah, sell zone. Bingo. Right? With this order block that I've highlighted in yellow, this is my gain fam tool, and I have it set to 50%. So the line in the middle is 50%. Okay. That 50% lines up exactly with the 78.6 on my buy zone. Now, it did peak above the 78.6, which is okay, because US 30 is known for rejecting the 88.6, which is the top of this box. So on this market open, I would not be surprised if we get a wick up and then close below the 88.6 and then come down. So if you're not in a US 30 trade, what I would do, now this is not financial advice, this is just education. What I would do then is set a limit right there. Okay. And maybe we can catch that wick, or maybe you can catch that wick, right? And then we'd want to target these structural areas down here, these order blocks down here. And actually we would probably Fibonacci this top to bottom and maybe start to scale out at the 78.6, which is, well, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right at where that order block is. You'd want to start to scale out, but really what your target is the double bottom. So it might take it a day or two to get there, but really the market's going to want to take out this double bottom. Okay. And because then what happens if we take this out, today's Thursday, Friday, and then we screw around on Monday, Tuesday, and it continues to do this right here. And then we have Wednesday. Well, Wednesday's news, right? Wednesday's a huge news day. So it's not inconceivable. And this is kind of why I started off with the fundamentals side. It's not inconceivable that we could sell off today, that we could hit this trend line, come down, and maybe start to stall around this trend line. And then over the next couple days, early next week, we just screw around and just very slowly start to build off. Now, it's exactly what happened this week, right? We had news. Sorry, I'm gonna have a bunch of lines here. We had news down here, right, on Wednesday, which we were expecting. The Fed did not raise rates, which we were expecting. We did not think they're going to raise rates. We thought they're going to keep the rates the same. And so the market was probably also expecting the Fed to keep the rates the same. And so we thought, oh, well, if the market already has this rate built into it and they keep the rates the same, then this is going to be seen as bullish and they're going to buy up. There's no news, there's no change, everything's the same. Let's buy up. Okay. And so that's exactly what happened. Rates dropped, nothing happened, boom, pumped Thursday, Friday, and then the last couple days, just like I said, it screws around. All right. So here's Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So basically from here, which is Monday, nothing. It just up, 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 up just a little bit. So I expect that to happen here. I want to see this sell off and then just start to do one of these Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday news, we're back in the run of things. So again, I don't know where it wants to end up, but I do expect it to take out this double bottom here, which is good liquidity, and then hold this as the swing marker. All right, hold the bottom there. So let's just clean this chart up a little bit. Let me just delete a lot of this stuff. Okay. So then what we can do then, if we're selling now, which I'm already in sell, so that sell doesn't apply to me. Let me delete some of this stuff. Okay. So then what we could do then is we then Fibonacci this move, because this is going to be the bottom, the new bottom, and wherever the top is. I don't know if it's here or if it's going to be the 88, but just for argument's sake, we'll mark it right here now. This is then going to be our buy zone, which is what, guys? Just below the liquidity. Okay. Just below the liquidity. So basically, we want to see this get taken out and then hit our 88.6 or somewhere in this area and then pop off. So it seems to me, now I could be wrong, obviously. It seems to me that the news is setting up this way. The shitty job numbers could come out today and it sells off for the next, 4 business days. Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday with the news, we find the reversal. And then what? So then if that happens, guys, what's our target on the top side? Well, look at this order block and look at this top that it's setting right now. That would then hopefully be the double top area, and that would be our target, right? It kind of makes sense. So this is why I'm not the hugest fundamental trader, and I'll be honest, I'm trying to get more into that fundamental stuff. What's up, DC? Good morning. But this is kind of why I like to think about this. And with the rate decision last week, I mean, we nailed it. I mean, we had a fucking perfect entry. The perfect entry was on NASDAQ, to be clear. But that's what I'm thinking today. So all we need to do then is I'm already in, but if I wasn't in, and if I was you guys, I would be looking for an entry. So, as you know, especially if you're trading on funded accounts, you should probably enter a few minutes before the trade. So like we have 10 minutes for news to open. We are now, I'll be honest, I don't like the fact that the RSI is already this low. This is letting me know that it has room to pump up. Okay. So then maybe we can get this, and I would say third touch, but it's not even a third touch now, right? 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. It's already touched this trend line 4 times. All right. But this is the top trend line. So top trend lines play different than bottom trend lines. Usually you have 4 touches on the bottom trend line like this, it's going to break and then sell off, right? I'm not so confident that it does that on the top trend lines. I almost think that's just building up greater and greater resistance, because that's not liquidity, right? It's on the top side. It's buying up and that's on the top side. So we would be using that as resistance. So probably, I'm not going to say probably, but maybe we have this come up, hit this trend line, which is also in this 88.6 area, up, below. Okay, we'll just start this way, up, below, and then sell off. All right, let's look at NASDAQ real quick. We only have a few minutes before market opens. NASDAQ, again, I'm already in NASDAQ trade, but look at how NASDAQ has shown its hand, right? This was the support it's building. That is showing its hand. All right, so now we have this forming at the top. Now we have that divergence. Again, the RSI is at 50% because there hasn't been much movement over the last day because it's been consolidating. So that lets you know that's the reason why the RSI is there, because it has room. So it technically does now have room to peak up, right? Hit this one more time, 1, 2, 3 on the RSI, which then would be divergent, and then go. All right. So, I mean, it's not inconceivable. Let's use this trend line that it could do 1, 2, 3 and hit the 88.6 right there and then sell off, right? It's following the trend line, it's following the RSI, and then on the bottom side, hit this 70 and then go. All right, because then that would still be divergent, because this is higher, and this would be, lower. This is high, this is lower, this would be lower at the 70, and you would have that touch, one more touch. All right, so I'm already in NAS, but don't think I wouldn't be looking to pull the trigger again and double down on that if it gets there. And the same thing on 30. I kind of have to pick my poison. I'm not going to over leverage my account and go crazy on entering too many positions, because what happens if you enter this position on both of these and then you're wrong on both of them, and then you're losing lots of percentages. So maybe this is the day where I just let my positions run. Very possible. I haven't made that decision yet. We'll see. If I get a good, let's just be honest. If I get a good, this is the 88.6. If I get a good wick that does this, it comes up, wicks, and then the candle closes below. especially like let's say on like the 15 or whatever, the candle closes below, then I would be you know, really thinking hard about taking that trade. We're going to find out here in a few minutes. I do not, however, want to over leverage this account. All right, I'm going to fund an account. I have 4% daily drawdown, and if I lose, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Let me see here. Let's go back to this. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to just change screens around here. Put this up here. Sorry, put this right there. Is that how it works? Okay. All right. Welcome, 6 people. Welcome, Wisconsin Fishing Man. I got 30 in NAS last night on a low risk to test the funded challenge platform. No, it's going to take a while to hit 6%. Nah, it shouldn't take that long to hit 6%. I mean, it just at 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 risk ratio, a couple trades, hopefully you'll hit it. You might hit that shit today. You know, honestly, I think we have a really good chance. I mean, to be honest with you, my gut feeling says we have a good chance to sell. So, I mean, with this, here's the thing with the funded challenges, they don't want you to take trades a couple of minutes, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes before and after news. So I would almost, man, I'm not saying take it now, but at least on 30, I mean, do what you want to do, but you'd rather, I mean, you could probably enter it after news, right? Like that would probably be safer because you might get this spike up. Excuse me, I didn't want to do that. You might get this spike up on news, and then when it starts to settle down, maybe like 5 minutes after news, you can maybe see a small little pullback, and then take the trade. All right, but I'm fully expecting it to sell off. I'm already in the trade. Let's look at gold real quick. I haven't really been messing with gold because it just started consolidating on me, so I closed my trade. I didn't care. I had a gain fam drawn on here, and that's what those lines were. But as you can see, we've already broke structure. We've already broke the trend line. And yeah, I did take this buy here. For some reason, the computer, I was messing with the stop loss. And for some reason, the computer said I hit stop loss right here, which makes no sense. And so it closed out of the trade where I had bought right there. I had then seen that this was double topping, and I took a sell. And again, when it started finding resistance in this area, I closed. So I took however many pips that was on the up and the down. And I said, I'm not getting greedy. I'm out. Like, I'll take those pips and I'm done. So what am I looking for now on gold? All right. Some people are like, gold is is a zone to zone kind of a thing. Okay, that's great. I don't really care what those people say. What I say is this then is liquidity here and there. That's kind of like a double top, right? We'll just mark it there. This is definitely liquidity down here on the bottom side. So what I would do is, okay, Goldilocks, you broke trend. That lets me know that perhaps we're going to buy up. So then what I would want to see is one of these. Give me a nice retest down here. I'll set my limit there, and then we can go. Okay. And look how it's buying up now. Hopefully it's buying up to sell off, to be honest with you. And so if it does do that, then we would be doing what? We would be taking out this liquidity. We would be filling in this fair value gap. See how the bottom of this wick, and you still have like all this area that hasn't been touched. And look at this gigantic wick. I'm not saying it should fill in this wick, but maybe come back down here and fill in these candles, fill in these wicks, and maybe fill in half this wick. So then what a lot of people will do, and I'm not saying they're wrong, they're definitely not wrong, is they'll mark off this wick like I'm doing. This gain fam is 50% of this wick. Well, look, holy shit. Like, guys, you can't make this up. The 50% of the wick is exactly at the 88.6. So, I mean, shit, put a sell limit right there at the 88.6. It's a small risk to reward. You know that your first target, your TP1, then is going to be this double top or liquidity sits. That's a 3.84, almost 4-to-1 trade. And you take your TP1 right there. All right, got to have the nuts to hold it up there. It might take a couple days. Take your TP1 there, and then you do whatever you want after that. You let half of it run, let 3/4 of it run, let 1/4 of it run, whatever fuck, right? Because now you know that the next bit of liquidity is sitting here, but look at this gigantic fair value gap, right? That's an imbalance in the market. So then what do? Well, some people would mark this off as 50%, and there'd be your TP. TP2 there, TP2 there. And look, that's the extension, guys. Look, the 61.8 extension for that move on the buy side is sitting right in the middle of that fair value gap. And let's just put some extra sauce on this. This is how you do this shit. But now where's this fib? This top to bottom fib right there is, holy shit, the 61.8. right? Like you guys are seeing the shit live. This is how you stack confirmations. All right. So then what do you happen? That's where you TP. I'm not saying you sell there, right? I'm not saying you sell there because we know gold likes a 78.6. So I would say you would start to look for sells in this area. But you can be sure that people are going to be taking profit right there. And so you start to scale out. You can't make it up, man. All these numbers, all these rhythms, they all match up. Now they're not always perfect, but I mean, son of a bitch, they're in the ballpark, you know what I mean? They're in the ballpark. So my NASDAQ runner is still banging. As you guys know, I have a NASDAQ runner off this wick and it's still banging. I'm protected in profit. And so as of right now, that trade is up, you know, that trade is up only 700 pips. Okay, guys, only up 700 pips. And again, where is your take profit? This is your buy. Where's your take profit? Right where the people are starting to look to sell. And guess what? It's starting to turn around. All right, look at that. And just let me see. Let me get this queued up here. Last 7 days. What is that? NASDAQ. NASDAQ. Yep, there it is. All right. So let's not mess with that. We've got news in 1 minute. Let me bring back up the chat case. Yeah, exactly. Right. The more you draw the fibs, the more the shit just seems to line up. So it gives you. This is the most important thing with the fibs for me. I'm going to concentrate on 30 right now because this is what I want to see. Okay, so we are now. Let's look down on the 5 minute and see if we can't call out a better 5 minute trade. All right. We're not even divergent or nothing yet. So again, we will not be surprised if this pushes up to the top of this purple box, which is our 88.6. Okay. But once it starts to get up here, okay, this then should be where on the higher time frames we're seeing the divergent. So we're not going to be overly stressed if it gets up here. All right, I'm in a sell. I have my stop loss. So here's the thing too, guys. When you use the fibs, good up, Mr. Hernandez. When you use the fibs, it gives you where your stop loss can be. Then you could set your lot size and you don't stress. I'm in drawdown right now, but I do not give a shit because it's like, who cares? I've already expected it. I've already gave myself, I risked 1.5% on this trade. I like this trade. And if this thing hits, then fuck, I'm good to go, The gold chart in the Discord channel. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even fucking with gold right now, to be honest with you. I will send it, but I haven't really marked it up, to be honest with you. Oh, I know I did just mark it up just now. Okay, so let me go back to the 2 hours fine. Let me just clean this up a bit. And we'll review gold. Actually, let's do this. We have NASDAQ, we have 30 on this side. Let's just reset this and reset this. I'll leave 30 on this side. Let's do Goldie on this side real quick. Okay. So with Goldilocks, and I'll explain it to you and I'll also post it. So the entry that I would be looking for in Goldilocks is 2283 if it gets down there. But what I was saying on gold, if you missed it, it has broke the trend line already. You see, we have the trend line. 1, 2, 3 touch. Again, 3 touches the magic number on trend lines. Once it touches the third time, the fourth time is probably going to break. Right. So I don't know if a lot of people tell you guys that, but there's the first, there's the second, there's the third, the fourth time it broke. Okay. It broke. And that happens a lot because this is now setting up liquidity. Again, the market is doing two things. The market's consolidating or it's hunting liquidity. So it set up liquidity here, it set up liquidity here, it broke and it set the double top. This area right here is going to get taken out. You can bet your bottom fucking dollar on it that the 22, the 23, 28 is going to get taken out. That is 100% liquidity. What we're hoping though is that it comes up to this area, it comes up to that area, or maybe even a little bit shy of that area, and it comes all the way down here and then takes out this bottom liquidity first. We ultimately want to buy. So we want this bottom side liquidity to get taken out first, right? I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but that's what we want. We want to see this tank off, hit, and then go because we want to buy. That's plan A. If that doesn't happen, what's our plan A or what's our plan B? Well, this goes, and then we need to figure out, okay, well, here's the next bit of liquidity. This area that I've drawn the gain fan box in is basically fair value gap. The fair value gap matches up with the 61.8 on the bigger fib, matches up with the 61.8 TP on the buy fib down here. So once it gets in that area, we can see if it wants to reject that area. We need to start building some more fibs and this and that. But now if you will, our ears are perked up and we're paying attention. That's kind of the way I like to see that. It doesn't mean we automatically take trades, but we are at least thinking about it. So let me just kind of make this look prettier. Let me copy this. Copy. I'm guessing you want it in the which Discord do you want it in? Annie Peters, perhaps? Come on, let's go. Okay, Annie Peters. Here's my tab. We'll put it there. We'll put it in the apes, just in case you're referring to the apes. This guy's like, oh yeah, he damned him. Okay. And I don't know if you're talking about the bandits, but if you're talking about the bandits, there. All right. It should be in all the major Discords. Andy's, yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's get back into our focus mode here. So I like to enter at this time frame before the market opens, because if you ask me, the market is going to set up off the news and usually give you that move. And it hasn't given us the move. So maybe it's waiting for market open, It's crazy what it does. Let's look at news real quick. Let me bring up the tab. I like to use my FX book, excuse me, because I can filter the news down. So if I'm only concentrating on the U.S. news today and I only want red folders, I can filter that to that. And so jobless claims, look, it comes out actual negative, right? So therefore, that's going to be seen as bearish. So this goes again with our thinking on the fundamentals, right? If this news and just the way I think about this is the job market in the United States really that fucking hot right now? Really? I have a job. I don't know what everyone else, but I've been in the same job for like 6 years. It's no longer than that, like fucking almost 8 years. I've been at the same job. So I don't know what the job market looks like out there. To be honest with you, I'm not looking for jobs. Let me put this up here so I can see you guys' chats. So yeah, I think this news is going to make the market sell off. The market's been on a bull run. We have some fair value gap sitting in here, especially we can say like right here, fair value gap there. We have this long wick. It's just been an imbalance in the market, and I'd like to see this correct going into news next Wednesday. Again, so this is why you don't have to be a super good news guru. You need to know that there's news, but it definitely helps to think about, well, what does that mean? Look at how next Monday there is no news. And on Tuesday, we have one folder. There is Michigan Consumer Report on Friday, which I've never seen move the market. I've never seen Michigan Consumer Report do shit, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm just a rookie. I don't know. But there's not crap for news between now and Wednesday. So if it was me, this market is going to sell off, and then look at all this CPI, inflation, retail. Look at all this. If this shit comes out good, where inflation is not as bad as they think, and it's coming out where inflation is starting to taper off, the market's going to fly because the interest rates have already been set for the next quarter, right? And so, well, I hope that that's right in this area here, and then we catch a fucking banger, right? Because if we think about the 8 hour, we've had this solid retracement. We've had the break of the trend line there, or even there. Okay. And this is something else I wanted to tell you guys about trend line. If you want to be a trend line trader, or you're learning how to use trend lines, first of all, start there and always go from the wickiest wick, the top of the wick. Okay. Now, I never play the trend line this tight. Okay. Now, Andy, let Andy teach you guys more about this. But in my personal opinion, the real trend line is after the first good retracement. Okay. There. And then that is the first real retracement. That's where your trend line should be. Okay. And then when it breaks, this is bullshit. But this is why I don't trade trend lines, because of this. When it does break, it breaks for real. Now, I will say this too about trend lines. If you're going to play a trend line, and this is my own personal opinion, if you're going to be a trend line trader, wait till the price gets near the bottom and the gap between the trend line and the bottom is not that big. Okay. Because it's giving you a smaller stop loss. I would never suggest you take this buy and then the bottom is way the fuck down here or even way down there. Right. I would never do that. I've always, it's just crazy. You have to severely under leverage that trade to get any sort of profit out. And that, for me, the risk reward is just not there for that. But if you wait until there's a bottom set, like right here, and then now you're taking the trend line buy on the candle close right there, now your stop loss is right below. And now you have the room that you're not super over leveraged and you can actually make some profit on that trade. That's just my personal opinion. So wait till the trend line gets next to the bottom and you've got this little area. This little area is small, not this area. All right. Personal opinion. Okay. So let's get back into the smaller time frames and see if it hasn't really, if you're not already in, it really hasn't, to be honest with you, it really hasn't gave us the entry yet. Right. It hasn't moved up. So perhaps this is going to be an 830 type move. However, NASDAQ is. Now, I look at, I don't know why, okay, but I'm looking this differently when I see NASDAQ. And this is kind of what I see on NASDAQ on the smaller time frames. Look how I guess because NASDAQ's already broke, right? NASDAQ is already given us, showing that its hand, that it broke. And it broke this structure right here, right? It consolidated and it broke that structure, showing us the hand. So if you ask me on the smaller time frames, this then is our sell zone right there. Okay. And we have this wick right here, which is now liquidity. So if you're not in the market, and perhaps this is where I take my second bullet on this trade, would be right there, in which case I would put my stop loss right there. Now, I do realize that the 88.6 is right here, and maybe you could afford the extra pips to do this. But if you go off the fibs, that's it. So before a market open, that might be a little risky to cut the stop loss that short. Maybe you put it a few pips above the true 88.6 on the higher time frame, but I mean, there is a potential to take that trade and only risk 44 pips, and then your TP is still down at the floor where the other TP is. So this is how we can use our Fibonacci's and our breaks, and then we can still target the same areas as our big time frame fibs, right? So perhaps we can take this entry here. And see, now we'll also be patient and wait for this RSI. And so I see that differently than I see US30, because on US30, it hasn't really shown us its hand yet, right? It hasn't had that break. So if we come back to the 1 hour, let's reset. I wouldn't really call that a break, right? That is structure. That's just a little, it's not the same. It's just not the same. This is a break. That US30 is just not the same. And if you look at the S&P 500, you have the same thing. Flat, there was the break, and now it's coming back up to test the top. Let it take out this liquidity, but we want to see it hold here. And if it doesn't hold there, I mean, it's not the end of the world, because we could just be hitting the other touch on the divergence, and then we sell off, right? So again, not the worst thing in the world. Let me delete these brushes. I love using the paintbrush tool, but it drives me kind of crazy because it just makes my charts look like shit. So it's a double-edged sword on that. And as I'm clicking, it wants to keep marking. Let me just check and see if you guys have anything. You guys have anything in the chats y'all want me to look at? Any questions? Anything? Let me check. Yeah, I got you, Mitchell. What are you guys looking at? What are you guys looking to do here? Again, I don't normally do this, but I mean, it's kind of a parallel channel, right? Yeah, I'm not a quote unquote trend line trader. I mean, I've been watching Andy for years, and I've traded that way, and I understand how it works. But that's not my bread and butter. I'm not taking entries because of a trend line break. I'm taking entries off of fib zones and RSI and a multitude of other confluences. I like to stack 6 or 7 confluences, to be honest with you. Um, you know, and then the other, what also we'll do too, if this is the Elliott wave, which doesn't really have a top, which is unfortunate. So you'd go off of this part right here. Hey, good morning. Hi, good morning, sweetie. Oh, hello. How did you sleep? Oh, did you sleep good? Did you sleep like a good girl?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've added that to my stage. I think you should same all audio cut out. This is kind of weird. I don't know why why all of a sudden my camera just cut. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. I added the stage. There's like stages. You see how this little black box now is in the bottom? Add stage, take out stage. I don't know why it would not why my camera went off, but it is what it is. Sorry for that little mishaps there. But what I was saying is we look at Bitcoin, and what we can see then, delete this and delete this, is that we had the fair value gap. Mine does it too. Sometimes we do it with a docking station. Usually, yeah, I don't have a docking station, but I got you. Well, we're back. That's all that matters. I drew the fib then from the bottom to the top. right? And I had the 61.8, which is right in the support area. But then I also realized there's a huge fair value gap. Well, there was. I mean, it's now been shrank, but the fair value gap was originally right here, and half the fair value gap is right where the 50% is. Well, guess what? The the price damn near, I mean, almost hit the 50. Just letting me know that perhaps it's not quite done. I really wanted to hit the 50, or I really wanted to hit the 61.8. All right. I'm not saying it's going to get there. Maybe it breaks this trend line. And if it breaks the trend line, then again, Bitcoin's like a buy and hold kind of thing for me in the way I look at it. So if it does break the trend line, then buy and hold it, let it go up. I think, as you can see, we have a one touch, we have a two touch. We could probably have one more dip down and then it goes. So yeah, Ethereum, kind of the same thing. One tip, two tip, and I think maybe just a little bit further down, get into this previous support and resistance zone right here and here. And there's a nice little sell candle sitting right inside there. Let's see if it holds the 61.8 as support. That would give us the end of the Elliott wave and then let us go. This is also, if you look at the second leg, B to C, the 236, which is the TP, is right just below the 61.8. It's not perfect, but I mean, it's pretty damn close. And so it's just giving me further confirmations that right around this 2641 area would be the buy, right? Here's the top. There's that candle, a little bit consolidation, third leg. You get the idea. Solana, I think, is kind of already maybe found the bottom. It's still setting lower lows, and now it's setting equal highs. Okay. What is equal highs? Equal highs are liquidity. This is going to get taken out. Okay. That's where liquidity is. This kind of low got taken out already. Perhaps you could say, okay, well, there's liquidity on this wick here and right here. So then what do? So we say, okay, well, if that's the case, I'm willing to buy right down here. All right. It's going to break this resistance zone, but that's okay. As you can see, we do have a lot of orders and a lot of consolidation kind of in this area, right? I mean, look at all these orders that are in through here and all these orders that are in through there, and then it broke. So, I mean, you could say, all right, well, this is kind of the order block, and the 50% of that whole consolidation area is right where our 78.6 is. And that's kind of right at the bottom of this little guy here. So maybe it takes out these two bottoms here and holds this as the swing marker and support, which would be right in our sell zone. Buy zone, right? I'm not saying there'd be a super sniper entry if you took it right here, but your stop loss is right there, and you give yourself plenty of room. And again, we want to set this all-time highs. ADT, hi baby. Thank you. Thank you for the sticker. Stickers at 7:51 in the morning. I think ADT has found the bottom. I think Cardano's there. I see this box that I've drawn up. Again, maybe we come back and we get a double bottom. Again, we play double bottoms. You can 100% play double bottoms, which is this right here. So set a buy limit right there on the double bottom. And I wouldn't give yourself all the way at the bottom of the fib. Maybe you just give yourself a stop loss right on the 88.6, hoping that it not even a stop loss. You would just maybe just sell because I don't margin trade cryptos, but you'd want to see maybe it come down here and then you give yourself some wiggle room in case it wants to bleed a little bit and then turn around, right? But that might be a good. Again, this is buy and hold for me, so there really is no stop loss, right? So this is misleading to say a stop loss. I would just be buying there. Again, I bought only $500, double down again. I don't want to say double down. I own a lot more than that, but bought another 500 right there on that. And again, I dropped another $500 on Dot right there. No big deal. But again, I think Dot has found the bottom. I don't trade the JUP, but when I did, when I was marking up for people the other day, they're like, where's it going to turn around at? I had this marked up from way back here, and look at the wick hit it perfectly. And you're in profit if you did taken that trade or bought then. So that's that on cryptos. I wanted to show you guys Tesla real quick. A lot of big news has been happening on Tesla. I bought Tesla right there. And for me, the Elliott wave was complete, but hasn't fully. But now it's complete. Again, the stop loss is not really accurate because I don't have a stop loss on here. But I bought Tesla here and peaked up. I still think Tesla's a good buy. I think it's so severely discounted. And with the news, with their automated driving systems getting better, um, I think it's just a good buy. I mean, look at this strong candle off the bottom here. So perhaps my Fibonacci should have been like this. Makes more sense. Bottom right of the 78.6. So again, sometimes your Fibonacci, my Fibonacci's aren't always perfect. I'd like them to be, but there's your 78.6, 88.6. It hit it. The Elliott wave is now complete. Let's see a big push on Tesla. Just my opinion, not financial advice. Let's go back to 30. Okay, so let's go back to the 15-minute on 30. I just don't see, it's not doing anything. I mean, so how can you trade it if it's not going to move, right? NASDAQ is found in the 61.8. It's also found this area. Again, I'd like to just see, look at this bullish candle. I don't think it's done, and it's not all the way oversold in the RSI. So I would still be sitting on my hands on the NASDAQ, and 30 just hasn't gone anywhere. 30 is just stalling, which to be honest with you, I don't mind. In my head, for some reason, I think the longer it stalls, the better for me, because if I want to see this sell, it's just collecting orders. It's just going to sell even harder. So I don't mind that it's stalling. The longer that I'm in the trade, if you ask me, the better it is for me. I don't know why I think that. I just think that. So waiting on the, I'm already in. Again, if I was you guys, I'd wait for a wick up one last time and give us one last push. I'm not a stop trader, so I don't suggest doing this. But if it does go, and you probably would even want to put it a few pips below that, or maybe even like here, because if it does go, then the chances are that's going to come all the way down to at least this order block are pretty good, right? You want to see it at least come down to here, that order block. So if this goes, and look at the fair value gap, right? So you do have a sell candle here, but then you have a fair value gap in this area here, a market imbalance, at least in this area. So I mean, you'd at least be able to protect. But again, the fair value gaps kind of depend on what time frame you're looking at, because then you also see this, this fair value gap. And lo and behold, as I flip through time frames, you guys know that I talk about kissing candles a lot. And that is a trap / kissing candle. Look at that. That's actually a good trap. Because if that's a trap candle, that means this is the trend line right there. And basically what I mean by that trap candle is when you have price doing this, right? There are so many people who are going to be selling right there. They see this trend line, they see a higher lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, and then they're selling right there. And now they're trapped in their trades because the market took off, right? They didn't have a chance to get out of their trades. So this is an imbalance, aka fair value gap. So these people here are stuck. All these sellers in this little trap candle area. All right. That gives you further confidence this is going to come down. So if we catch an entry here, I'm not saying put a stop in, but if you are one of those people who plays zone to zone stops, there could be that. And since I'm thinking outside of the box this morning, and Mr. Peters does like to trade those stops, I'm a limit trader. Let's look at what Mr. Peters said the other day. Again, he was selling off of these wick fill areas. Let's just tighten this up. Off these wick fills. And that's exactly what it did, guys. Where's the top of the wick? Right there. There it is. So he is 100% not wrong. And I was actually in agreement with him. It filled in these wicks. These daily wicks, it filled it in perfectly, almost a little bit higher. Make sure it took whatever little liquidity it had. And then now it sells off. All right. And I think also, and I don't want to speak for him, but I'm pretty sure he looked at this candle, this is the candle here that really broke through and broke the structure. And I'm pretty sure he drew that at 50%. Again, my gain fam, the line in the middle is 50%. And he was taking that, like 50% of this big candle has been taken, which lines up with our 78.6, which lines up with these wicks. You guys get the idea. Again, just throwing out some extra strategies, some extra confluences today to help maybe this is what I did when I was a trader. Like I would listen to some people, basically everyone but Roy Dunya, and I would listen to them and figure out what they're doing and combine strategies together. So for me, I look at the trend lines like Andy does. I understand how he does them. I took the Fibonacci's from Austin Collins. I took the Elliott wave and the extensions and all that from Stefano. And I took the liquidity zones, trap candles, breaker blocks, all that from Mario. And I've kind of meshed them into my own thinking. And that's kind of how I come up with my strategy because it just fits me. So, what I would say is, guys, I wouldn't necessarily try to mimic my strategy. It might not be for you, but maybe take one little part of what I'm showing you and combine that with something that somebody else shows you and come up with your own little deal. The RSI as well. Austin Collins is bigger on the RSI than, let's say, Stefano is. Or, Mario would always tell me, he's a structure first kind of person. So he's really looking for order blocks and breaker blocks and trap candles, this stuff. And I look for all those things. But if those things don't line up with my Fibonacci, I'm not taking them. Right? This is the one thing that I really, really love about Fibonacci is it keeps me out of bad trades. So if I'm looking, let's just say, for example, a buy, I'm buying here, right? I don't care that there is a trap candle right here. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if this is the breaker block. I don't care because it's not in my fib zone. Okay. It's keeping me out of all of this shenanigans that's up here. This is where people lose money. So if we just draw a box, this is where people lose money. Okay. Because they're trying to get too cutesy with these little entries in the meantime. Where if I stay true and I stayed true to my NAS, my 88.6, the most I'm losing is this right there. And it always seems to line up that there's always something in the area. Look at that gigantic wick that needs to get filled. Look at this little area. There's these gaps here that has no sell candles that the bulls took over. So perhaps this candle came down to relieve these people of these cells here. And look at how the bottom of that wick lines up with the top of that area. Let me just zoom in here, right? The bottom of this wick lines up with the top of this, with the bottom of this. So it's not inconceivable that maybe the market needs to come and fill this in right here, these long wicks, which is right at my 88.6. So again, I take what Mario taught me and I line that up with my fib zones that Austin taught me. And I line that up with some of the Elliott wave stuff, the TP stuff, and then how Stefano trades. And then I throw a little extra sauce on that with the trend lines that Andy taught me. So shout out to all those guys. I know someone in the YouTube told me the other day that those guys are all fake, and they're all fake traders, whatever. Everyone has their own opinions, but I can say that I've met all those people in person, and I've had drinks with them, and I've seen them take multiple trades. And am I saying they're the biggest, baddest traders in the world? You guys can make that decision for yourself. I'm just saying that I trust them, and they've taught me a lot. And yeah. So shout out to all those guys. Okay, let's see. I think Nas was the closest one giving us anything. We're kind of just waiting for paint to dry now. We're waiting for paint to dry. Again, we're not in our zone yet, and we're not oversold, and we're not divergent. So we have to wait. We have to wait. Thanks, you guys, for again being on here and hanging out. What was the symbol for silver? That's someone said they'd like to look at silver. And is your channel right here? I'd like to look at silver. Thanks for posting, Mr. Hernandez. What is the silver XAU something? Let's just type it in right here. Let's go to not indices. Let's look. Is there not one for gold or metals? Well, it's XA something, right? Let's just type in silver. Duh. Silver. And let's see if we can trust Oanda. Oh, I already have it on here. XAG. It says I already have it. But let's look at it real quick. Okay. I'm guessing silver to be bullish just because it's cheap and the times. But let's just start off with the monthly. This is something we don't do. I don't do enough, right? Okay, so we see on the monthly that we have these wicks, and it's filling in these wicks. So this is a rejection area, but it's already rejected a few times, right? And so our next area then would be up here. So we have this kind of gap, and let me just tighten this up a little bit. We don't need to make it that big. We kind of have this area that if this breaks, which it looks like it is, because we've come down. Let's just follow the order flow. We've come down and we've set a bottom, right? And we set a top, and it very violently broke through that, right? We've now Elliott waved our way back down, right? 1, pushback, 2, pushback, 3 wave back down, and now we're breaking up. So again, we've had a break up, and now third touch of the Elliott wave. Now, this is where you say, well, we could reject again, and very well. I mean, look at that monthly rejection candle. We're on the monthly now. Look at that monthly rejection candle. That is a huge wick, right? So the bulls, the bears said, I don't think so. Right there, they were not having that talk. But again, look at these 3 strong bull months. So I think this could break. All right, we're setting higher highs, and so let's see. For me, this is the local. This is the last fib. We could draw it on 2 different areas. We could draw it here, and then we could draw it here. All right, we've got 2 different ones to work off of. The 61.8 on the bigger fib and the 78.6. Again, I don't trade this a whole lot. I don't trade it at all, to be honest with you. But if I was to look at this, I'd want to see maybe, we've had a dip up. This is now taking out liquidity is what it's doing now. And then we have the dip. So it's probably going to find resistance and start to sell off in this area to come down to this area to then buy off. It's going to need the extra liquidity to make that push to break that high. And you've got this order block here. So I'm thinking the price is going to need to get down into this order block before it then breaks high. The market needs liquidity to move, right? It needs buyers and sellers and orders and money to move to do that. So then if we zoom in, let's say on the 4 hour, we can figure out what it's doing right now, right? So then let's just delete all these fibs because we have our boxes below. We kind of know what it is below where we would like to buy. This then is liquidity, right? That's what it's doing. It's taking out this top for liquidity. So then we would draw our Fibonacci from this last area to there. And whatever that triangle or that's the wick area that we drew earlier on the monthly. It lines up right to the bottom of our 78.6. So if it was me, you could take this sell at the 78.6 here. Look at how we're now overbought on the RSI on the 4 hour. So then what we do not have is divergent, which is okay. You don't always need divergent on this high of a time frame, but maybe we could see one of these and then go. And in which case the RSI then might start to show us a little bit of divergence or a little bit on the oversold side. So then let's go to the 1 hour. Okay. And now what do we see on the 1 hour? Okay, now it's peaking up. So this is where we'd want to wait and try to see the divergence then. So let's get a little push down, a little push up. Let's see if we can get a 3 touch. Or let's see if you can do it. I'm not going to be trading it. But let's see if you can get a 3 touch on the divergent and then take a sell somewhere in this area, somewhere up here. Put your stop loss up here. And that way you're also protecting yourself against this order block. If it wants to come in and fill this order block or do anything, your stop loss will be above these wicks. And then I would probably TP1 right here, the 236, because then on the flip side, you now have all this area as liquidity, and you have this support and resistance area right here. I mean, look at how it lines up perfect. Okay, so guys, I had to take a pause when I see this stuff. This is important. If you know that your fib is drawn in the right area, when you see the 61.8 being respected, you see the 50 being respected. Look at this. Look at this. How it's almost perfect. Look at the 38.2 here. Look at all these wicks. Almost hit it right here. We can count that. Look at these. Look at the 236. Perfect. Look at this zone right here. It's almost perfect, right? So this is how you let you know that your fib is in the right spot. Now, could it be right here? No, I don't like that because look at the 61.8 doesn't hit it. Like, I think the fib is here because a lot of times you can draw your fib not necessarily from the top to the bottom, but where did the move start? This move started right here. Look at that engulfing move. That's where the move started. So sometimes that's where you want to target your fib, right? And it lines up almost so good. And so then take your profit at the 236 there because this is now a support and resistance zone. Is it not? Am I crazy? Right? Support, broke through, resistance, resistance, you know, 238. Let's let it peak up, take out this liquidity, what it's doing now, find resistance in this Fibonacci area, in this order block area, perhaps 50% of that order block. And let's see if we can't catch this down to at least the 236. That's my ideas on silver. And you saw start to bottom how I mark up charts. So there it is. That's an idea, right? I don't yeah, sell it to eventually buy it right down here. Does that help? Does that make sense? Am I crazy? Hopefully I'm not crazy. And hopefully at least the shit that I'm saying uh makes some sense, right? I'm not going off the deep end saying stuff that doesn't make any sense. Okay. We've got 20 minutes. Put something in the comments. Let's get the comments going. We got 6 people in here. And also, guys, if you have any friends, man, I'm trying to build this YouTube page up. Uh, give me a holler. You know what I'm saying? Tell the boys what up. Come join me. Okay, so let's go into Peters. Let's go into trading. I'm just gonna let these guys know I'm live. And since we're gonna do all that, let's go to our dot card. And what's going on here? So I don't want to set up. Let's copy this link. Give me 1 second. Let's go here and go V here. Let's go into the Bored Apes. Let's go there. Let's come into the Bandits. Let's go into trading chat. Let's go here. And let's go hit up the boys over here. All right. Did that post? Yeah, okay, posted. All right. Just letting everybody know I'm out here. So we've got 20 minutes. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to go get another cup of coffee. All right, Mr. Hernandez, thanks very much. Yeah, I love marking up charts. So the more I get to market charts, the more I talk about it. Just, keeps my sword sharp. You know what I'm saying? Give me 1 second. Let me go get something to drink. I'll be right back. Baby girl. All right, guys. I'm making a cup of coffee right now, so just give me a minute as I run back and forth. Thank you. I see there's 10 people. I got a damn sticker on my arm. Band-Aid. My daughter put a Band-Aid on me. I say I got 10 people in here. Thank you guys very much for jumping on the live trading. We're kind of just waiting for market open. We broke down a bunch of charts, and if you're just now joining us, those extra people, we're waiting to see if we can get an entry on US30. Let's delete this buy. That's going to be later. But as we see, we've had these touches on the top of the trend line, but we're not overbought on the RSI. Okay, so we're waiting to see if we can get one more touch up on the RSI around the 70, which will give us the divergent and perhaps touch the top of this box is my 88.6 on the higher time frame fib. So maybe we can get one more touch up on this trend line / 88.6 area, get that 70 on the RSI, and then we take the sell. Full disclosure, I'm already in sales, so I'm not too worried about it. And then, of course, this red line then is the 78.6, which is also kind of towards the top of this area there. So I kept the 78.6 on there because that's kind of, I think that's where I took my entry, to be honest with you. Let's look at nasty NASDAQ. Again, same deal. I'm in already, but we are waiting to see if we can't get this more of a sniper entry. Let me delete all this stuff here. What we're looking for on NASDAQ then is it's already, for me, it looks like NASDAQ's already shown its hand by breaking this, by breaking the structure, right? So if we had a good bottom setting up, this came down and broke the structure and has yet to set a new higher high. I don't think it's going to be honest with you. So we see this area here as wicks and liquidity right in our 78.6. So we're kind of hoping that maybe this peaks up a little bit and gives us a double top, right? The higher time frame Fibonacci is 88.6 here, and that's a 78.6. So we're in our sell zone. We've had 1, 2. We can see that the the trend line on the top side. We do not want it to come all the way up here and touch the trend line. We are starting to get over bought on the RSI. So perhaps what we could see is another touch up, and we just got to be patient on the smaller time frames to see if we get some divergence. So with having said that, we come down to the 5-minute, right? We are now overbought, but we're not really like, I like to see it more overbought, like a higher tick. Okay. But nonetheless, we're going to sit here and see if we can't get a little bit more overbought on the RSI, get us into our smaller sniper type of entry with this much smaller stop loss. And of course, this would be then setting up the double top in this area, right? On the internal frames, right? There's the double top, which is right on our 88.6 on the smaller Fibonacci. So let's see if we can get just a little small Elliott wave. 1, 2. This is the third. Let's see if we can just get a little bit more and take that entry. Or shit, you can take the entry now if you wanted to, but it's up to you. Gold, we're not even really, Jesus Christ, what happened to gold? That just happened, right? That wasn't that way a few minutes ago. Yeah, look, gold's just playing zone to zone right now. It's just, that's the top of the zone as we marked off, and then now it's selling off. But let's just zoom back out. I can't remember what we were saying about gold. I'm not really in. Oh, we wanted to buy. Yeah. Okay, so look, guys, this is actually good for us because now, look, this is now a triple top. Again, we don't play triple tops, right? This is 100% liquidity. This right here is 100% going to get broken sooner rather than later. Okay, people are saying, okay, so this is what we do not do. We do not play triple tops because the probabilities of this breaking are very, very, very strong. Some people say, oh, this is support, resistance, draw the zone out, and then they would want to sell right here. Okay. In this particular instance, yeah, they did get a candle, but they're playing with fire. What we would rather do is see this bottom down here. Let's wait for whichever one gets broken first. Basically, I think this is going to get broken first. We need to come down and then we need to find some reasons to buy down here because now we have a clear target up here on top for TP, right? And the same thing, if this thing goes to the moon right now, then we have all of these bottoms and all of this liquidity right here as a target. We'd want to figure out how to sell up here to take out this as for TP. So with my original idea, my original bias is that gold broke this major trend line right here, and maybe I should not make that an arrow. Maybe I should delete that and make that like a more of a trend line, right? From there to, let's say, right here. All right, it broke that trend line. So I won't be mad at it if it wants to come back down and retest this last order block, this last area right here on that trend line break, right? So we need to figure out in down here, where do we buy? So let's just let price do its deal. Again, I'm not interested in doing anything in this area. This is where people get their money taken, right? I'm not screwing around here. This is my no trade zone. Just let it do its deal, and we'll wait till it hits the extremes. We'll play on the fringes, and we'll take our trades after that. So on Goldilocks, we're kind of just holding tight. It might, it might take it a day or two. I don't know. On 30, though, we are still seeing higher highs and higher lows. It hasn't broken any type of structure, but I would be willing to take that sell. I am already in sales, but I'd be willing to take another entry, or if you guys are not in, up in this area here, and we'll target down here for TP1, which again is this bottom wick. You'd probably want to fill in this wick so we can start to take our profits in this area, which make the market, where buyers at. Buyers are probably sitting in this area right inside here. And on the bigger time frame, you see that there is liquidity sitting here. And so therefore buyers would be sitting below that, right? The market needs to take out liquidity to move in the opposite direction. The market does two things. It consolidates and it hunts. And so over the last couple of days, as you can see, this has just been, little nothings. It's consolidating, right? And now after it has all these orders, it's going to hunt. So it's either going to hunt below or it's going to take off and screw everyone and go up top. So you never know. And it could be hunting these wicks in this little area right here. But if it does do that, my stop loss is above that anyhow. Actually, I take that back. My stop loss probably is not that high. It's another story. NASDAQ, basically it's NASDAQ is a different trade because it's already kind of, if you ask me, it's already shown us the hand, which I think 30 is going to follow. But when it broke here, if you ask me, it's shown us the hand already. And the same thing for the S&P. Now, I don't trade S&P 500 because I trade NASDAQ and the other ones. But again, for me, they kind of move in the same, right? And look at how S&P has broke this structure and shown us its hand. And so I think that this top, and if we look at S&P, you see this, how this is setting a top right there. I think that's going to get broken. That's liquidity. So if I was to do this, I would draw it like that, and then I would be taking my entry after this liquidity has been broken. So the one thing that Mario did teach me, shout out to Mario, is we want to take the trade after the liquidity has been taken. If the liquidity hasn't been taken, we don't need to be taking the trade. So then this is what I would be taking, something like this. We can also see the targets below our sell candle. And we also see that we have this order block sitting in this area, which happens to line up with the 61.8 TP extension. So, I mean, if you're not an S&P 500, that's a solid trade right there. Now, I do realize that you're going to get some major momentum, right? I mean, look at this momentum. But I think the market has been unhealthy. It needs to come down. And look at this. That's the big sale candle right there. We need to get at least some sort of retracement on that. All right. And so that would be that. I don't know why I put these lines here. I must have been back testing something. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're being patient on 30. We're being really, really, really attentive now on NASDAQ, as that entry could be now, to be honest with you. It could be now, but we could also wait just a few more minutes and see if this liquidity gets taken. So we're talking about a difference of, you take it now, that is a 90 pip stop loss, as opposed to, let's just say we took it 50% here. 50 pip stop loss. Full disclosure, I'm already in. Let me go grab my coffee. It should be done. We got 8 minutes. Give me a second. All right. For some reason, my stupid coffee maker didn't make my coffee, and I got to reset it. The joys of owning an espresso machine. Makes good coffee, but sometimes it can be a pain in the ass. I really, I mean, I really think that's the area. I really think this wick fill would be the area. So I would probably actually be taking that at the 78.6 just to take it a few pips earlier than this wick fill entry area here. That's just me. Are you guys in any of these trades? Put in the chats. Are you guys in this trade? Are you taking the trades now? Let's get the chats going a little bit more. We got 13 people in here, so thank you guys. And if you drop something in the chats, I'll let me know who's in here with me. We got Mr. Hernandez in here, and we got Nicolas. Gracias, Nicolas, for being here. Mr. Wisconsin is in here. Wisconsin Fishman. I guess that's fucking walleye. I have no idea what the hell you guys fish for up there. DC was in the house earlier. What's up, DC? I think you guys say, don't you know? We fish for walleyes, don't you know? Wes, what up, Wes? Thanks for being in here. I'm looking at another NAS entry. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do that. Nicholas is in here. What's up, Tyler? Mr. Rice is in the house. Thank you guys for being in here. I thought you stopped by and check out my guy. Yeah, what up, man? What up? Happy you guys are in here, man. Like, we're just trying to do a little something, you know. Like, as you guys hear me say in the market outlooks, man, I don't sell chats, I don't sell signals, none of this stuff. I put my live trades on here as much as possible. And if we get the YouTube going, you know, YouTube pays me. I don't need y'all's money. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those gurus out here selling courses. You know, this is kind of what I think. I was thinking about that this morning, honestly, when I was using the bathroom. We fish for everything. Than fished in walleyes. Yeah, I've never caught a wall in my life. I do own a boat though. I do fish as well. So I got another boat in my fucking front of my house right now. Not even my boat, my buddy's boat. But what was I gonna say? Fucking threw me off. Completely lost my fucking train. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. This is what I think about back in the day. You know, you had the gold rush in California, right? You had all these people want to move to California to make a bunch of money, gold money. This is when I think about some of the gurus. I think a lot of these people are out there saying they're the best gold miners in the world. Look at me, I'm a gold miner. I'm a gold miner, and they wear a gold watch. But really, they're also selling maps. Like, hey, this is the map to find the gold, right? They make their living off selling maps. They're not making their living off fucking being a gold miner. The problem is they're telling everybody they're badass gold miners, right? And so I think that's what's really up. If you're a badass gold miner, why do you need to sell fucking maps? Go mine your fucking gold, be a millionaire, be done with it. So if you have those gurus out there that have their own educational courses and their own paid subscription, this and that or whatever, I think a lot of those people are fucking map sellers. You know, glad you're here, Mr. Williams, Joe. So that's what I think. You know, so I was listening to a podcast yesterday with Ollie Trades. Ollie Trades says he puts everything up on his Twitter. Every day that he live trades, he puts it all on his Twitter. He doesn't have any subscriptions. He does it for free. He does his YouTubes for free. And that's how you know that dude doesn't need your money. That's how you know that dude's what's up. He's a real trader. Same thing for Tom Hugard. Tom Hugard, I bought a book from him. I read it. I love it. And he has his Discord. Matter of fact, I can not Discord, but Telegram. I can show you right now. And you come on here to Tom Discords, and he goes live every day and calls out, and he tells you, right? And he posts. Look, there's has been a while since I've been here. 1,000 messages, but there it is. Forex swing trade, new entry orders, buy order, stop, take profit, size 100%. Right? He shows you what's up. He doesn't need gold mines. This is the gold father back in the day, right? Look, he was posting his shit. He doesn't need to sell maps, right? He doesn't need to sell maps. So follow some people, do your research, go to your Spotify's and your podcast. And if you see, like, let's say, for example, since we have a little extra time, we've got 2 minutes. You go to my let me figure out how to get there. And this isn't like all my podcasts, right, that I listen to, because I have them mostly on my phone. But if you come on to like a Spotify, for example, you see I've got the trading nut on here, And when he interviews someone, go and figure out who that person is. If you look at the Alpha Brain podcast right here, go and figure out who these people are um, that they're interviewing. Same thing on, I don't know why it's not showing all of their interviews, but talking with traders, this guy here, he's got good people on there. And a lot of these people aren't retail traders like you and me. These guys are institutional people who work for big hedge funds, and these guys are fucking smart, man. And so I listen to a lot of these podcasts with these, what I call big dick baller uh traders that have been in the industry for a minute, especially this Alpha Mind podcast, man. This Alpha Mind podcast is what's up. There's a lot of psychology on this thing. And these people, man, you start to listen to them and you go down the rabbit hole of figuring out how these people are. And there's so much good information on here. So if anything, I would say look outside of the Instagram people. Go to the people who are out there who are talking about the big fundamental news. Go to the big people out there who are really talking about psychology, and figure out what podcasts you like, and then go look up all those people. All right. And babypips.com, right? I'm sure you guys know that, but babypips.com. You can see a hell of a lot of information on babypips.com. If you want reading materials, hit me up. I've got so much. Let me see if I can find it on the side screen. I've got so many different books. Let me show y'all this. Right? 20 rules for master swing trading, 50 gold rules, candlesticks, easy guide, ebooks, Elliott waves, inducement cycles. I mean, look at all these PowerPoints that have the unicorn. I like this one a lot. Wyckoff course, right? You guys, why do y'all need to pay some chart, what person for their bullshit, whatever courses, when you can go to babypips.com, or you could just hit me up. I can send you some stuff, or just find, like I said, go to the podcast, figure out who the people are, and look at how they do things. And anyone who's out there selling maps ain't a gold trader. I do my shit for free. And the good thing about doing my shit for free is I don't need to claim. I don't need to claim to be the best trader in the world. I don't need to claim nothing, man. I mean, straight up, I have a job. I have a normal job. I make, I still make a living on the side. I love my job. Why do I want to quit my job just to do? I mean, don't get me wrong. If I start to make millions and millions of dollars a year trading, maybe I'll quit my job. But for now, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not trying to front that I am. I don't have a fucking Lamborghini sign hanging in the background trying to act like I have a fucking Lambos and Ferraris, because I don't. I got a fucking 4x4 truck and a boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. I go to the lake. I'm going to Florida next week. I just got back from Dominican Republic. I live good. So there's no reason to front. I'm not trying to act like I'm a millionaire. I just do my thing, right? Let's see if anything going on. Look at how gold, see how it's fucking around. All these people sold right here. And look how it gave them hope. And now it's going to come back up and fucking smash them. I was kind of hoping it didn't do that. I was kind of hoping this would keep on going down so we could buy. But with this gigantic consolidation zone, this is my gigantic do not buy in this area, or sell for that matter. Do not enter trades, I should say. Wait for this liquidity right here to get taken out. And we go in the opposite direction with confluences. We don't just automatically enter, obviously. So let gold do its thing. There's nothing really going on in gold. NASDAQ, honestly, NASDAQ is the best setup that I see right now. Market is open, and we don't have jack's fucking squat on volatility. Well, this might be a short trading. This might be it. We might be exiting out of this live trading session here because it's just not giving us anything, which is super unfortunate. Red folder, jobs reports, whatever. It's been open for a couple of minutes now. And this is how it goes. This is how it goes. I'm actually amazed. I'm actually amazed that we didn't have anything. So today is Thursday, and we're on the 1 hour chart, right? I mean, since the news dropped, we've had nothing. The 15-minute candles, I mean, look at this. This is the opposite of volatility. All of London session, right? This is London session, 2 o'clock in the morning. A little dip. Jeez, you scared the shit out of me. Nothing. We've had nothing. And I don't know how. I wouldn't trade that. I mean, yeah, we could come down to the 1 minute and we could do the scalping strategy. Like, I know how to do that. I don't like doing that because it's just, honestly is just not mentally healthy. But you did see, I mean, if we're going to talk about scalping, we did see a break there. It did not hit our 78.6. So honestly, I think it did hit the 61.8, right? So this could set now a new high. But if it was to come down, you could probably scalp this off this bottom right here, off that bottom. And there's your stop loss of only a few pips. And then you want to definitely target this double top and actually the extension. So scalping works in the same way, guys. Scalping works the same way. Find your fibs, find your liquidity areas, right? This is now triple bottom, which is 100% target liquidity. Look, there it goes. So that triple bottom was enough liquidity to make this pop. But I still think that we should be doing the same thing. I still want to see this liquidity here get popped, and we could use this as support. And there's the kissing candle right there. There's the kissing candles right in there, and this is your last sell candle, which did get taken out. So this sell candle has been now negated, but this sell candle right there has not been negated. So that means the 88.6 entry is still in play. So if anything else, the 1 minute time frames, are crazy. People who don't know how to trade are like, oh, it's just noise. You can't trade it, but that's not the truth. You can absolutely trade these. And I know people who go, 50, 60 trades in a row, all winners scalping, right? You just look for same liquidity. You use your fibs, you use confluences, and you do the same thing. You do the exact same thing. Here's the order block right there, right? And then here is the trap candle, right? The order block is there. It pushed off. It came back up, tapped the top of the order block. So this order block could technically be negated, and this has the room to go. But if it does want to come back down, it's worth the risk. You're only risking a few pips, right? You're only risking a few pips. So if you're not in a trade and you're one of those traders who have to itch to be in a trade every day, look how it's also rejecting this trend line. The trend line could be maybe touched up a little bit to match the top of this wick and the top of that wick, but basically you get the idea. It's touching the trend line. I just don't know where the end of the trend line is, so I can't move it. So, but yeah. All right. I don't see, you guys have the idea. We beat this fucking horse all morning long, hoping for some liquidity. And it just hasn't given it to us yet. It hasn't pushed up all the way. Again, this isn't over with. This isn't over with. Right? See this area here? This isn't over with. It could very well reject right now and then give us this third touch on the RSI. Right? Come up, and then go. So look how it's rejecting it. See how it's rejecting it? That's the last bit of sell candles that's coming back and touching those sell candles so it can go off. This is what a healthy market looks like. I mean, there's no imbalances here. It pushed off, then it came back down and retraced to get to this candle. Pushed off, engulfing, pushed back down to get back to this candle. Pushed off, retracing to now get back to these candles. It's covering its tracks. That's healthy market flow. So let this healthy market flow do what it wants to do until it gets into our area. This is, markets 101. No big deal. Look at rejecting. So, all right, that's all I have for you guys, and we'll just do a quick 30-second review, right? I'm already in sales, so I'm not looking to get into anything else. But if you're not looking, if you're not in sales, come back down to this, let's say the 30-minute, and see if you can't catch a sell up in this double top area. See if it'll give you one more push and maybe even touch this trend line one more time before you sell off. And then I would also highly suggest waiting for this RSI to get back to the overbought position. Same thing on NASDAQ. I think we're closer to a better sell on NASDAQ as we're almost there. I'd want to see this come up just a few more pips and take out or at least double top this area to get us into our fib zone. Again, you could play a tighter stop loss here, or, to be honest with you, my stop loss is up above all this, right? And then I wouldn't screw around with gold right now. Let gold show its hand. It's not doing shit, consolidating and screwing people. So that's all I got for you guys. I put a sell limit on NAS so I can go to work. Put your sell limit in, put your risk in, put your stop loss in, and close the computer and go live your life. I'm already in sales. I've been in sales since Monday, and so I haven't done shit all week long. I just let my sales go. We're in sales. It's positive swaps. I don't give a fuck, right? We're good to go. Y'all have a good day. If y'all have any questions, please hit me up in my socials or on my YouTubes or whatever you want. I'll do my best to get with y'all. Yeah, let's do this. Hopefully, we make some trades. Y'all have a good morning, good Thursday and Friday and weekend. Peace.